Alright, welcome to the full video on twinking on Mischief. This is from my short videos you've seen. This is the level 1 Shadow Knight that I've twinked pretty good. There's some things I'm not willing to spend some money on because I'm really not going to use this character, so there's no reason to twink it other than for this video. But I did put a pretty solid set of gear on. And at level 1, she's at 2274 hit points unbuffed, which is pretty significant when you look at some of the raid mobs that we used to fight at level 50 and even some at level 60. What I want to do in this video is pretty much go slot by slot here and show you what type of stuff is actually available on the server to buy. There was a lot of questions about like the random loot and tradable stuff, and then maybe we'll look at where some of the stuff is from. So obviously I always start at the top slot here, and for the arms I ended up buying something that is actually not even available anymore. Arm plates of the Twisted. It's what I bought, and that's 38 AC, 90 HP. Arm plates of the Twisted come from Kadasha the Twisted and Luckland, so this piece here can be twinked in as early as Luckland. And then there's some other things. This Yttrium stuff here comes from Saru. That's also Luckland. Saru's Torque, Luckland. These are the multi-slot ones here that you should probably own. You know, Saru's Torque, because you get neck, arms, wrist. And then also Spirit Rack Cord, which also has shoulders, arms, wrists. So this Spirit Rack Cord is a quest from raid type mobs in Kunark. So right now the first slot and all these other items here, you could do this in Luckland on Mischief or on another server that starts up that has the random loot tradable stuff. And then this is different because this is a Flowing Cape of Grief, which is what I bought. Alright, I think I actually had this one. This is from Depths of Dark Hollow. It's like level 68 spell number 3. For some reason, they didn't put any level requirements on it. They hand it to you as a quest reward, and then I almost deleted off a bunch of my other characters, and then I looked at it and I said, hey, if for some reason I ever make an alt, which I really don't because I just power level to the max level, but if I do, this would be a good item to use. So that's what's on my back. You can do it, put your back into it. And you can see the other options, not really anything close to it. Charms, there's one charm I think this Cobalt still trying and buy it. It's only 6,500. I could get a couple more stats and HP, so man, like 10 HP, but so this could be 2284. My strength and stamina is already maxed. So for the chest, I have skimped on the chest pretty hardcore. Got a breastplate of eradication. So this breastplate is from the statue of Ralisek. This is actually Vilius era. So is the chestplate of Vindication. And then the heavy Yttrium chestplate, which is probably should have bought because it's 125 HP, so a little bit more here. And a lot more AC actually. That's from the Luckland era. Saru's a pretty popular guy.
I'm very popular.
I'm sure you are. Very popular.
So this could be a little bit better. And you can see Luckland has a lot of twink items, which we already knew that from the past. And for ears, I did spend some money on these ears. 150 HP earring of Wretchedness. And the earring of Wretchedness is from a quest called Korlak Leviathan number 2, Learning the Power. So that's going to be from the Depths of Dark Hollow. So this is a recent addition to the twinking world. And it is pretty pricey-ish. Signa the Arcane, which is I believe from Planes of Power era. Also, no level requirement. Good twink item. And then Sigil Earring of Veracity. These are things that are from Luckland. You can kind of tell things are from Luckland because they just have like these massive quantity of stats, but only 100 HP. And I believe this is from a quest. But you can tell a lot of the items that have like this like type of setup here and the 100 HP, that's from Luckland. So my other earring I don't see listed anymore, but it's also kind of equivalent to the Earring of Wretchedness. And some of these items will change depending on what class you're playing. This is SK, so maybe a bunch of different items if you're playing like a caster, but you can kind of see the quality of gear that you can get during this expansion. And this is also a Depths of Dark Hollow edition. So that's 3 items so far from the twink list that are Depths of Dark Hollow. And then the face, which I think I already have This is also a quest reward from one of the spell lines for Depths of Dark Hollow, and I believe this Hardened Layered Mask is also from Depths of Dark Hollow. So this is from quest number 5, this Hardened Layered Mask, and this is from quest number 1. I don't know why you get 2 different masks, but Depths of Dark Hollow again. And I didn't buy this other one because it's only 5 more HP, and like I said, I'm not actually playing, but I probably would like the strength, this HP regen. So I would probably get a hard layered mask over the warp mask. But there's no price difference really in here at all. But I just happen to have this one from one of my other quests, so I just put it on. And then moving on to feet. Feet I had a hard time with because these yttrium studded boots from Saru are expensive, and they have Spirit of Wolf on them, so this would actually be a really awesome Twink item because you can give yourself Sao. However, I am not going to spend a chrono just to buy them for this video, so I got these Boots of the Storm, which is really solid AC and HP and some stats. So that slot is currently occupied by Lucklin. And fingers get a little funky too. I didn't spend so much money, I got a Ring of the Depths. And this item is from Lucklin in the Deep. I did spend a little bit of money on this Ring of the Sleeping Leviathan. This ring is also from the Korlak Leviathan questline, Depths of Dark Hollow. Other than that, you could see I could upgrade to this Gilded Ring, which looks like a Depths of Dark Hollow item just by the stats. And that is also from the Korlak Leviathan questline. But if you don't get your stuff in Depths of Dark Hollow era, then you're looking at this type of stuff, which you can see, Lucklin stats. And more Lucklin stats, just this solid, like we're lazy, let's make even numbers stats.
The thing is, Bob, it's not that I'm lazy, it's that I just don't care.
So I am missing, 50, 60 HP just off the ring slot and some other HP off here, so we're pretty much looking like we're going to be over 2,500 if we actually bought the best stuff. When it comes down to gloves, I did get a set of Onyx gauntlets, which are semi-pricey if you're just doing a Twink, 35,000. I don't really like to spend my platinum. So the Onyx gauntlets are actually from Vilius or Viam. Pretty solid set. But then there's Do Vassir's. He looks like it has Lucklin stats again. Oh, so these gauntlets of might right here, even though they have Lucklin looking stats, are actually from Vilius. They're from Bolagare. Honestly, if you're twinking, like, if you were like level 60 or something like that, maybe this would make some type of difference, but honestly, for just twinking and leveling around in regular zones, you're not really want to spend the extra money here. And for the head, I just bought Crown of the Crowns of Kings, which is the highest HP that's available right now on the server, and it comes from Vilius, Kale Draco, King Tormax. There is some other things like the Circlet of Suffering or a White Dragon Helm. Circlet of Suffering is also from Vilius from Tel Coronar. And then the White Dragon Helm is from Sky Shrine. Tormax's head's Dragon's from quest name, so Vilius. So the head pretty much goes to Vilius. As far as Twink items are concerned, and legs I think I had a problem with too. Not really good leg options. You can see these greaves here only have 60 HP. And these greaves are from Vilius. They come from Planet Growth. They're kind of class-specific armor. I think they were no drop. So you actually had to go there and farm them. But there's not really too many. I mean, these have like really good AC, and I guess Enduring Breath might be fun while you're twinking. But there weren't too many options. I think I got the last like good set that was available here with 40 AC, 75 HP. It is also quest armor, and it is the ornate legs from Plains of Power. Normally those aren't tradable, but all the armor is tradable on the server, including the actual elemental armor. So the good thing about the ornate armor is that they have no level requirements, so you can get the full set of this actual ornate armor, or even probably buy the ornate patterns and make the armor yourself. I think you do have to have somebody that can zone in the Plane of Tranquility to create the items if you're going to craft them yourself, so you do need a level 46 that's able to make them. And then moving on, neck. So the Assistant Researcher symbol is actually a pretty decent item, and it was a quest from Gates of Discord. And they didn't put a level requirement on there because you couldn't do it Elsewise, you can take a level 1 and finish this quest. So you can see that this is pretty much like the best Twink item that you can put on during the Gates of Discord era, and it also goes neck to waist, so you have to take that into consideration when you're buying some of those other things that switch spots. But I did not spend any money on this. I do have this item, but it's actually, I think it's still being used on one of my other characters during this era. And Choker of Centaur Slain I didn't get either, and the reason I didn't get this is because I had one of these from Quest, which, you know, so it's 40 less HP and some heroic stats, which normally is a big deal if you're at high end, but for Twinking, not so much a big deal. This item here that I'm using is actually from Depths of Dark Hollow, from those same type of quest lines. And the Choker of Centaur Slain is actually from Gates of Discord as well. So the top next here, Gates of Discord, Depths of Dark Hollow. And then you're down to the left, the 100 HP stuff. So the primary was weird because it's a Shadow Knight. They do have these diamond-tipped war javelins, which is insane. I don't know, you know, obviously the proc is not going to work, so level 65 required proc, but the item has no level requirement. These stats add up to better than what I currently have equipped. Dual wielding here, I have maybe 200 HP total, but I was not going to spend, you know, over a chrono to 2 chronos on this item. And I believe this is from a quest that is in Gates of Discord in Aqua. And the same thing with the Mace of the Ancients. These also have no level requirement, 160 HP, so it would be significantly a better item than what I'm using, and that's Blade of Carnage. However, I'm not going to spend, what is that, 6-7 chrono for it, and it's been holding 6-7 chronos since I think it came out in Planes of Power. It's just been a really good Twink item for any melee classes. This has been the leader, predominantly the leader for Twink weapons. And then you have your two-hand option right here, and then I think this is an older world item here. The Twisted Longsword Pain is a Luckman item. Luckman's really famous for having those 100 HP, 110, 125 HP things that don't have any level requirements. So it's also another option. However, I just want the Blade of Carnage, which is only usable by these classes, so you have to like kind of look around and figure out what you pick. And then for range, I bought this Brain of Kazakh Fool. It seemed like a pretty solid and cheap item, as you can see the price there. Not very expensive at all. And this item came out during the Veilous expansion. Kazakh Fool, obviously. There is one item that has more HP that I did not buy because the brain was so much cheaper. This item here is from the Depths of Dark Hollow quest line as well. And then secondary, I just found a decent shield because it's a Shadow Knight. 39 AC, 100 HP. Pretty cheap. Could pick up an Ashen Bone shield too, which is Shadow Knight specific. I did like the AC off here for whatever reason. And if you're going to get a shield instead of an offhand, Whitestone shield comes from Veilous and Temple of Bashan. If you're getting a second item like a dual wielding, you know, you could get either the Swift Blade of Zek or a Blade of Carnage or both those, or if you get the Mace of the Ancients, you get either one of those. Very good items. And shoulders. This also is a Depths Dark Hollow reward. Your options are, though, some of these things here. Spirit Rack Board, which we talked about in the first one. Strength of the Elements, which I used to use to Twink all the time. No level requirement. Moving down to waist. All the summon crypts. You get this assistant researcher symbol here, so this is what I'm saying. Make sure that you plan your route out, because there's some items that will switch back and forth. I ended up getting this Felix Court of Velocity. And the reason I got that is because of the haste. I don't think I have a haste item on here at all, but it also does have 100 HP. So I did spend a little bit of cash. If you already have a haste item, you could get something else, for sure. There are other 100 HP options, several of them. Felix Court of Velocity is from Veilous. It is an early on Twink item, especially on these random meat servers. And then here we are at wrist, which I struggled with wrist because I didn't want to spend money. I probably should have bought either one of these. And I didn't want to buy the Silver Bracelet of Speed, which is also a haste item, so I could have done that instead. For my haste, that is a Vilius drop. Instead, I got this kind of piece of crap here, 15 AC, 50 HP, because it was cheap. And then I got this, which is actually some of that set armors type stuff. So I'm missing a significant amount of HP, probably over 100, just between having any of these items here. Missing some massive stats off, so I think all in all,
you're just another dick with no balls.
You could probably make a level 1 Twink on this server during this era that's probably closer to 2700, possibly 3000 HP, but I think you're going to go definitely beyond 2500, maybe toward 2700. Depends how you really arrange stuff and whether or not you get that assistant researcher symbol in, because you do have the money for that. You know, that's a significant upgrade. Even my best items, that's like 130 HP over that. Now this character does not have any Augs or anything of the sort, so I'm not sure if there are Augs that would actually help. We can kind of like search in here and see if it's going to show us anything that's for sale. It has hit points for level 1. You can even check type 7, which I think is the gear mainly we're going to have. And if I release the restrictions, here comes the flood of. So let's see, even these cheap Kyanites here with 10 HP are recommended level 60. So you put these on a level 1, you're pretty much going to get 1 HP. So I mean, you could get another 15 HP or whatever, but you're not going to be doing any cool Augs or anything like that. So there is one more thing that I do want to check out, and that is, which it shouldn't work, but I've never actually tried it. I'm going to pass some clickies over to this guy that I have for my high levels, and just see what happens if you can click any of them, if it gives them like a level 1 rank or gives them no rank, because I think you probably got to be level 51 to even start getting any type of AA. That's where that type of stuff goes, is a special AA. But I've never had a need to try and give a level 1 any clickies like that to enhance stats. So let's see. We could send this one. So it's just some of the things I collected up. It's not sufficient to use this item. Okay, well that makes me feel a little better because that would be pretty powerful. Yeah, okay, so they all have minimum requirements. If I could just check that first. I mean, it's got a required level, but doesn't actually have it. So, I don't know. Better pass that back, though. It's the stash. Before I forget it on this ult. Alright, so that is the status of Twinking on Mischief during Prophecy of Rove era. As you can see, none of the items came from Prophecy of Rove, so this type of setup here, and even better than what I have, can be done on Depths of Dark Hollow. And you've seen, even up to Luckland, how powerful you could be. A lot of these slots here would only be 100 HP, but I mean, you're still getting up 2000 HP probably, because I'm missing a lot of those 100 HP slots. So no reason why you can't even get back to where I am, or maybe even above, because I don't have anything that's really exceptional. There were some items that, as we went through, that were better than what I have, but the plan to do this character here is just take him around Luckland, and when I build the Luckland leveling guide, it's been a while since I got back out on the road because I got too busy with raiding and leveling up all my characters. So basically just gonna run around and maybe get a level in a few zones, explore, and build that guide. So just so you know, I said this before, all this here only took 2 to 3 chronos, and you could see that you could spend up to, I don't know, 15, 20, especially if you get a Mace of the Ancients on this. But if you're looking to come back and play on Mischief and you're worried about being too far behind, you can quite literally spend 2 to 3 chronos, buy all this gear, and level yourself. You don't have to really worry about getting groups or trying to catch up. And if you're into boxing, you could make 2 characters like this, and you'd be really powerful getting up to max level. And then if you're still concerned about not having time or money, just take your cash from your job, buy some chrono, and then get some raid gear. You can buy pretty much best in slot raid gear on these servers, and it doesn't take too much to buy maybe the top 5 items in slot, and that gets you definitely into a raiding guild and get you some items. So once again, thanks for watching, and happy twinking.